open for three. Dagger!
Hello and welcome back to Well Beyond the Arc. I'm Montana, joined always by my co-host David. And look at the first comment rolling right in as we get going. Congrats to Queen James. Thank you so much. I'm sure he appreciates that. Congratulations, Smoke. Anyways, getting right into it, you already know we are back with another episode. And as always, first and foremost, before we get started, bro, how have you been, man? It's been a little while since we've done a show, and I just want to check in, man. How you been doing?
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm good. It's been a minute. Absolutely missed this. When I saw the lineup for this week, I was like, let's go. Lots of basketball played, lots of things to discuss. Need to get on it. Was
Absolutely.
pretty
There's a
good.
lot to get into. A lot has happened, both in season tournament wise and otherwise, since we have talked. So let's get right into it. You guys know how we always start a little good, bad, and ugly. David, what is your good in that time we have been gone? What would be, there's been a lot of good, but what would be your top one that you would pick?
I think my good. I mean, I think we'll probably go to this like later in the show, but like my good is probably the Lakers winning the in-season tournament. But not just that, because I know many people will be like, oh, okay. But also the fact that the Pacers put up a good fight. I think the Pacers, like Tyrese Halliburton carrying the Pacers team and LeBron carrying the Lakers the way he did, just took the in-season tournament to a whole different level. Like it just elevated it so high. Like for the first one, it really put on a show. So I think for me, that's my good. The way like the superstars came out to play and just elevate their craft and show the world how interesting this is. So that for me, that's my good for the week. Oh yeah.
No, I mean, and honestly, the in-season tournament, we had questions about it. We kind of talked about it before it happened, and there's just some questions about what it would really be like, the intensity, but it was all there. It was really enjoyable. I enjoyed every second of it. As a Lakers fan, it was good to see the boys win, but also just to see a little bit of extra intensity at this point in the year is good to see. My good has to be Anthony Davis's last game. He went absolutely psychotic in that game. 41 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks. That dude was playing MVP level ball. I'm not going to gas him up too much because we all know what can happen. Once we gas him up, the next game he'll go down with an injury. So I'm going to try not to do it too much. But that dude, he's looking a lot more durable this season. Shout out to Anthony Davis because, yes, he's had a couple of games that he's missed, but nowhere near. So far, so good. So Anthony Davis has to be my good. That dude balled out the whole in-season tournament, but that last game, they were on a mission. They looked like Bubble James and Bubble Davis. Or you could also call them A Disney and Lamicki if you'd like. That's what some people would like to call them when they played in the tournament. So they looked like those guys, and that's honestly them when they were at their best. So my good has to be AD. Moving over to something that's not so good, our bad. Just like there's been a lot of good, there's been a lot of bad. But what is your bad for this week?
My bad. The Pelicans' performance against the Lakers, that was just absolutely disastrous. But I'm not going to single out any person from the Pelicans team. I'm just going to say, in conjunction to that, the way the media treated Zion Williamson after that was just bizarre. The things that were said, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of media. First Take, ESPN, Stephen A, all those guys. Like when they talk, I listen, and they always say like 99% of the time they're always on point. But this time they just went too far with their criticism for Zion. And it might, don't get me wrong, it might be from a good place, or it is from a good place. We all know we want Zion to succeed. But I just think the way, especially Stephen A, the way he went to it was just a little bit too deep. But overall, just a disastrous performance from the Pelicans. They didn't even put up an iota of fight. Like the game was pretty much done in the middle of the third quarter. I was like, nah, I'm done. I stopped watching it after that. So for me, that was my bad. And yeah.
I mean, and that's a good bad because that was unfortunately I expected more. I really did out of the Pelicans. And I think in my purple and gold zone episode, I said we'd beat them by like 10 to 12. And I like a good win like that, but again, it was a little disappointing. My bad has to be the Suns and their lingering injury problems because now they have 4 key players. They seem to always have at least 4 key players out. It rotates who it is. It's like it's not going to be the same guys each time, but it's a rotational 4 guys that are out. 2 of those guys that are out, unfortunately for that team currently, are KD and Grayson Allen. And those are 2 guys that are key to their success. So for me, I've got to say my bad is the Suns. Devin Booker's in, Beal is in. They're getting a little more consistency, but they're picking up losses. Obviously, that loss to the Lakers, and they picked up another loss since then. So injury problems lingering for that Suns team. Hopefully, they can figure it out, but it's looking like they're going to be dealing with that the whole year. My hope for them, not that I'm a Suns fan, but my hope for anyone watching that is a Suns fan, for your sake, I hope that they add some depth before the trade deadline, because that is what they desperately need. They've got the superstars, but they need to add depth specifically because of those injury issues. So my hope for them is that they can figure that out. But I'm not opposed to the fact that the Lakers have been whooping up on them this season. Let's go. We're 3-0 currently. They haven't even touched us one time. Let's go. Anyways, moving over to the ugly. And we might have the same one. We might have a different one. Mine, I don't know how you get uglier than mine, but you might top mine. Let's see what we got. What is your ugly? Because again, lots of good, lots of bad, maybe even more ugly in the NBA right now. What is your ugly?
I'm just going to leave this here. I'm not going to say too much on it. Detroit Pistons, and that's it.
Bro, we got the same one. We're not going to waste another second talking about the Detroit Pistons, but a 20-game losing streak with a record of 2-21. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Detroit fans, I'm sorry. I think it's time to look forward to next year. And
First round pick in drought.
yeah, Steve, put that on the calendar, because you can't put anything else on that, because your season's going to end when the regular season does. But oh well, unfortunately for them, not a good season. But maybe they'll turn it around. They were supposed to, with the coach and with the pieces, and it has not happened. But who knows? Maybe we'll see them turn it around. It will not be this year. Moving on to our next segment. We've got to talk a little Lakers in-season tournament action. We're going to talk two things. One, we're going to talk about LeBron, and we're going to talk about what does this mean for LeBron and his career. And, you can make a joke, and you could say a couple of different things. There's a few different ways you could go with this. Me personally, I know what I feel about this with that, but starting there, for you, LeBron winning the first in-season tournament ever and being named MVP, what does this mean for his career?
I mean, I don't think it means too much. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think he was absolutely awesome. He doesn't change him being my number one. That doesn't change it. Even if he had lost, he'll still be my number one. The good part about it is at least the media now won't say shit, you know. I can't remember, I saw a stat there like LeBron is 7-0 or 8-0 with lose or go home games in lose or go home games, meaning that just shows how clutch he is. We see again. I think for me, this incident tournament just kind of reminded everyone that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Like the only thing that will make him go anywhere anytime soon is if he gets badly injured. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. So LeBron is here to stay. He'll continue to average more than 25 points a game, continue to average more than his 6 assists a game and the 6 rebounds a game. And he'll continue to be a baller on both sides of the floor. And I'm just going to put it out there. I can't remember if it was against Pelicans or the Suns. He was literally just distributing the ball. I think in the first half he had like 8 assists. And then the one he gave AD against the Pelicans where he just threw it up. I was like, what is this? Like he's just reminding and people will say, okay, we didn't necessarily forget, but like he literally just took this tournament on his back and is like, I feel like the NBA should pay him more money just because of how he took it and put it on the world stage for everyone to see. So yeah, the NBA should pay him more money, and that's pretty much all I will go from there. I won't say too much on that because it was just spectacular. And there's nothing really I can say too much on that. So
Well, yeah. So what I'll say is this. First of all, definitely the performance that he put up for his age and just overall is impressive. You can't deny that. Anyone that denies that is just a LeBron hater, and it's all good because they are out there and it's all good. Discrediting LeBron, just like every player has had that. Kobe's had that. A lot of the greats have people that are going to, discredit them. So it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. But also at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything when we talk about LeBron versus Jordan, LeBron versus anyone else for the GOAT debate, to me, for the sole purpose that this didn't exist when those players were playing. If there was something like this during that time, then you could make comparisons, but there's no comparison there to make. And because for me, because this isn't a big enough accolade to make a big enough difference, it's big for LeBron to win this and to play like that at his point in his career, but that's all it is for me. It's not anything more than that. I saw people saying Jordan has never won any. Jordan can never say he won in-season tournament MVP. He can't ever say. I was going to make a joke about that, but I thought all of our viewers would probably hop off right away and I might get muted, so I decided not to act like I actually thought that. But LeBron James played phenomenally, and that is a testament to his health and his game and where he's at in his career. But my next question to you is, the Lakers as a team, this was some of the best basketball we have seen them play in a long time. My question to you is, that momentum that they picked up in that in-season tournament, even a couple of games before that, is this momentum enough? Do the Lakers have enough momentum with the team they have now to keep this going? Now that we got Vando back, we got some pieces that are healthy again. Vincent should be back soon. Do you think we're set and this is the team, or do you still think that we should look before the deadline and see what we need to strengthen up? What are your thoughts on that? Because we're looking pretty strong right now, bro.
I don't know. Before I even get to that, I saw something about where like there were some. I think someone asked the question if it's like, let's name, when this, like in the years to come, let's name the in-season tournament MVP, the LeBron James MVP, something like that. Like, I put that to his name, and I think that would be a pretty cool idea. But before, not to digress too much, but going back to your question, I do see this as a good momentum push. I think this will literally carry the team forward. But there's always this but. And this but is just because we have seen it from him, Anthony Davis. It's how far he goes, this team goes. Like LeBron will continue to do what LeBron does. But we're at this stage where sometimes what he does cannot necessarily give us that W, if you get what I mean. So if Anthony Davis brings his A game every game, I mean like 2020 every game, 4 blocks every game, and LeBron is dropping 26, 5. D'Lo is dropping 15. Austin Reeves is dropping 20, 15. Vando is doing his stuff on the defensive end. Cam is doing his stuff on his defensive end. Terran Prince is dropping 15 to 10 to 15 points. Gabe Vincent comes back dropping 15 points. Wood dropping 5 points here and there. Absolutely, this team can literally win it. People keep saying this, and I never believed it until like this season begun. This team is as far as Anthony Davis goes. If he gets injured now, I can't say too much about it. Like I'll just literally forget everything now. So if Anthony Davis remains healthy and keep being dominant, especially against the big boys like Embiid and Joker, this team is going all the way. Like I'll proudly say this team will go all the way to even win the chip. So that's just my take on it, and we'll move on from there.
I like the way you think. All the way to win the chip. I like that. And I agree with you. I agree with you on that. We're going to keep it short and sweet and move on to our next segment because I know you guys are ready for this one. But what I will say first is the Lakers winning the games like they have won in the dominating fashion, that even if it's against a team like the Pelicans that underperform, we would not have done this last season. We would not have won the in-season tournament if it was if the first season was last year. LeBron would not be the MVP because we wouldn't even have made it. I'm telling you right now.
Because if I remember correctly, LeBron was injured this time last year,
and we had Pat Bev
and Ross. And not. This is not a dig at them. Like they just didn't fit at the moment.
No, it didn't work. And the turnaround was impressive. The fact that we did turn this around so quick is extremely, and that's a testament to the Lakers. That's a testament to Rob Pelinka. I agree with you 100% that the Lakers absolutely. I'm not going to say the chip is theirs to lose, but if everyone stays healthy and they can potentially get a piece like an Alex Caruso and give up very little, and even if they don't do that, I think that this is the best the Lakers have been since they won the chip. Since they won that bubble reign, I think this is the best they've been. And I think it would take a real LeBron or Lakers hater to deny that, because they're playing basketball that they weren't even playing this time last year. So for me, it's big. We'll obviously track the Lakers as they go. And obviously when they win the chip, we'll be talking about it. Come on now. You already know. Yeah. But moving on, I know you guys have missed this. We've had a couple people ask, I think every episode since we came back. And that is everyone's favorite internet game, NBA Player Or. When is it going to come back? Well, I've got good news for you guys. It is coming back in today's episode. We are playing our first official game of NBA Player Or of Season 3. well beyond the arc. We got a little theme going on this episode. A little bit later, we're going to talk about the Christmas games. So, in honor of the Christmas season, I thought, you know what? I couldn't come up with a topic. So I was like, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Today's episode, we are going to do NBA player or holiday movie character. Now, what I will say is this. You're not going to hear like the ones you think of, like the Grinch, obviously, because come on now, you're going to hear names that sound exactly like someone that would potentially play in the NBA. It is not going to be the actor's name. It is going to be the character's name. We're five of them. As you guys know, as always, if you get them right, I think we got this rigged up. If David gets a question right, you'll hear this. Victory! Perfect. And if David gets a question wrong, which he's not going to, we're getting a 5 for 5 today. I can already tell. If he gets one wrong, will hear this sound. For all of our Jordan fans that are watching right now that are saying, I saw those comments. Don't worry, I was talking, but I saw those comments about Jordan being better than LeBron. There you go. There's your Jordan. He's right there for you guys, as always. So getting right into it, bro. The first name for NBA player or holiday movie character is Gus Polinski. Gus Polinski.
Do you know what? I'm not really a big movie guy, so I haven't watched like Christmas movies that much. Even like The Grinch, I'm actually not watching The Grinch, like that movie. So I'm going to go. This is just off the bottom of my mind. I'm just going to go and NBA player. Let's just go NBA. One movie. I've had run some technical issues.
I don't know what to do.
All right. Well, until we get Montana back, I will jump in and I will finish this game with you because I have all the answers and I'm controlling it. So we'll do that while Montana's coming back. Oh, wait, he's here. He can finish. You were kind of like laying out there in the wind. I figured I'd jump in with you.
What's up? All right. Yeah. Anyways, a little Wi-Fi incident went out. Man, right when you started saying what you were gonna say, it crashed.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
maybe
because I
don't know, because I feel like I gave my answer. The stuff I won't say which stuff popped up or something popped up, and I was like, okay. So which gives me maybe I can I change it? Can I change it?
Did you already tell you which one it was?
Yeah, he did. That's why I'm like, can I change it? But no. Let me just think. I said NBA player. I don't know.
Okay. He's from the holiday movie Home Alone. He's not a huge. I will also say this: I picked like the smallest roles in the movies because I'm not very nice like that. So he was the guy that helped the kid's mom get home in Home Alone. He drove her home on his bus, and now he's a pretty big role, but not a super big role. So that's the first one. So we're 0 for 1, but that's okay. We can still get 4.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Number 2, the name is Terry Taylor.
Oh no, Dev's NBA player. Like I'm not even messing around. Dev's NBA player. I don't know. I've heard. Victory! I've heard the name somewhere. What team?
Undrafted small forward who plays for the Chicago Bulls.
That's why I know it. Yeah.
Yes, he averages almost 0 everything. So I'm impressed you know him, bro, because his stats are like I think 0.1 assists per game or something right now. But he can hoop. I've seen highlights of him. He can ball out. And hey, let's go, bro. Let's go. You're on a streak now. Let's keep it up, man. The third name is Fulton Greenway.
No, that's definitely not an NBA player. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Victory! Movie.
You would be correct. Fulton Greenway plays a CEO in the popular Will Ferrell holiday movie Elf. He plays like the
I'm
main
actually not
villain.
watching it.
CEO
I'm
guy.
not watching it. I'm sorry, I'm not watching it.
No, okay, fair enough. No, again, I was picking people that I was, even if you've watched these movies, I'm like, there's no way he's going to know who these people are. But you're doing great, man. So far, so good. Let's go. Name number 4 is Garrett Temple.
Oh shit. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to go with movie character. One movie.
Oh, it's incorrect.
Shit.
That is another
What team?
undrafted NBA player. He's a shooting guard for the Raptors, and he is best known for averaging 2.2 points per game off of their bench currently. Garrett Temple, another. Bro, when I tell you, I was like looking through teams. I'm like, I'm going to pick all current players. I'm not going to go back to the 80s like my old co-host did with me, but I'm going to pick the guys that are like, come on.
What? Do you watch the Raptors play ball?
A little bit, yeah. A tiny bit, yeah. I knew him a little bit from that. But the first guy I looked up, I didn't even know Terry Taylor. So you knew more about Terry Taylor than I did, bro.
I only know 3 Raptor players: Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Dennis Schroeder. That's it.
Those are the only 3 you need to know.
Those are the only 3.
Those are the only 3 you need to know. But hey, still, bro, 2 for 2 right now.
Okay.
Let's see how we finish. Are you gonna finish with a winning record or a losing one? The final name is Charlie Calvin.
That sounds so movie like. Yeah, I'm just going to go with movie.
Victory! Let's go.
I mean, it also sounds like an NBA player though, but like
nah,
Charlie.
Bro.
No, Charlie, no.
That
Charlie.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Let's go.
No, finishing
What
with
movie?
W.
What movie?
He's from the Santa Claus movie series. He plays the guy that turns into Santa Claus's son. He's basically the son of Santa Claus in a movie series. And you did awesome, bro. 3 out of 5.
Let's go.
3 out of 5. And you said you'd never seen any of those movies, right?
I've actually never seen any of those movies. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
I don't watch movies.
The amount of times that I guessed on that end of it, we're picking right back up where we left off. Let's go, bro. 3 out of 5. Great way to start.
Let's go.
No, that's solid, bro. That's the best way to start NBA player or for season 3. Great job. Moving right along. We might make a couple people mad right now, especially our producer, Jay, but it's all right. We've got to talk about him. We are talking about the Milwaukee Bucks as they had an unfortunate exit in the in-season tournament. I did not expect that to happen. As much as I respected the Pacers and thought they were a team that was hooping, did not expect the Bucks to drop that game, especially since I was watching the game and they were in control for a little bit at least. But anyways, my question to you is this. Because of that loss and a couple of other stats that I'm going to spit out in a little bit, do you think that this Bucks team is looking more like a pretender than a contender at this point? They are still sitting top 3 in the East, but there's some things that make you wonder, are they going to keep that up and are they going to be able to go farther than round 1 in the playoffs? What are your thoughts, bro? We're getting canceled, guys. We're getting canceled for the remainder of the episode because of this. Anyways, what are your thoughts before the audio and video gets cut?
So I was so pissed when they lost that game because I had $1 on them.
See, guys,
I had $1 on them to win it because I think they were down 12 at halftime, and then they ended up coming back and they were up by like 8 or something, and then Tyrese just did his thing. So I was so pissed. I was like, come on, these guys can't even defend to save their lives. So are they pretenders? I don't want to say that because they're still third in the East, just one game, literally 2 games behind Boston in the loss column. Precisely, they are all even, but 2 games behind Boston in the loss column. So I don't think they are pretenders. I just think they need to show up that defense, and I think it starts from Adrian Griffin. I just think as a coach, I think he's good. I just don't know on the defensive side of it. I don't know if he can actually defend because they still literally have all the defensive pieces they had last year and maybe more other than Drew Holiday. I really don't see how big that is. So I don't know why they are not defending that well. Like they literally cannot defend to save their lives, letting in like what 120 points a game or something like that. They literally went to overtime with, was it Chicago last night? Yeah, Chicago. Yeah. Over you go to overtime with Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls that are not playing ball. They're literally going to overtime with Chicago Bulls. So I don't know though. I don't know. But I mean, it's Giannis, Dame, Brook Lopez. You can't just rule them out just because they can't play defense. Maybe they are doing like the whole Pacers thing where try to outscore us. That's the only way you win type thing. Which I think most teams have done. They have just outscored them. So for me, I think as the season goes, maybe their defense will show up, but Adrian Griffin needs to get his act together and get that team together. So that's what I have on that.
And I agree with you. And what I will say is this: we're not addressing the comment. We're not dissing on the Bucks and praising the Lakers. But even if we were, the Lakers are playing way better ball than the Bucks are at this point in the season. Does that mean that's going to continue throughout the remainder? That it could, but we don't know that. What I will say is this: I'm not going off of a personal hate or a personal. I'm going off of statistics. The Bucks are currently sitting at 23rd in defensive rating and 24th in opponents' points per game, and they are currently sitting 21st in rebounds. That is why they are losing games. Was Dame a mistake? No, Dame was not a mistake. I think that Dame is a pretty solid player, but they need more. They need more. And we were having a conversation before we went live about how the Bucks will more than likely add depth, and that is a great point, and I agree with that. The Bucks are a team that won a championship off of the depth that they added to Milwaukee around Giannis. The team that they both grew in Milwaukee and built around him. It was a great mixing. That is why they won that chip. That was a really solid team. No disrespect to the Bucks in the slightest, because that was a really well-fought championship that they had and a really hard-fought East that they went through. So for me, the Bucks, super solid team, but they're not playing like that team so far. And it's specifically on the rebound side and on the defensive side. And that is why the Pacers beat them, because you're going against a team that is low in defensive points per game, or what they held them to. And then we're going against the Pacers that are one of the top offensive teams right now. That is why they won. That's the whole reason they won. The Bucks didn't play terribly in the game against the Pacers. They just didn't play good enough defense. They couldn't slow the Pacers down, especially that point guard, who we're going to talk about a little bit later, because that dude is just insane. The Pacers are legit, and he's one of the main reasons. So for me, it's like, no, it's not that we don't like that, we hate the Bucks. It's all about the Bucks just have not shown up for me. And for me, could they turn things around? I definitely think they could. There's definitely some pieces out there that I think they could go for. But at the end of the day, I don't think they need to go for, I think they just need to look at the defensive end. They need to look at their defense. That is what they need to look at the most, because this is a team that has been one of the best teams in the East because of their defense. And if that switches, they're going to fall. So that's my thought.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the Bucks, I think when they got Dame, we all thought they were going to play the two-man game with Dame and Giannis, pick and roll two-man game with Dame and Giannis. But then it looks like it's Brook Lopez and Dame, which I think that should probably change. The two-man game with Dame and Giannis would obviously be way better than Brook Lopez and Dame. And no one is saying the Lakers are better than the Bucks. The Bucks have the better record. No one is arguing that. The Lakers just know how to defend better. Like, we're talking about a team that is holding their opponents to 112 points a game, to a team that's literally allowing 120 points a game. And 120 points, except you score 140 points, you are not winning in that game. Like that's just it. Like no one is saying that. It's just they can defend better than the Bucks. And obviously, when the Bucks and Lakers play, the Bucks might probably win just because Dame can shoot the three from anywhere on the court. Giannis is just too dominant, and that's one of the games AD will probably not show up because he's AD.
He does that against the top, like
exactly
against Embiid, so, and against Jokic too. So
it's we're just saying that if the Bucks want to go all the way, when we mean all the way, mean like to the chip, like beating Celtics and going to the chip, they need to fix up that defense and play that two-man game with Dame and Giannis, and that's probably it. Like I don't see any team in the East. Celtics too cannot defend. So it is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And what I will say is this: we'll close it up and move to our next topic in a second. But the last thing I want to say, when we're going Bucks Lakers, here's what I'll say right now: if in some universe we get to the NBA Finals, and the NBA Finals are the Bucks and the Lakers, that is going to be the best that the Bucks and the Lakers have been in a long time. To make it all the way through the playoffs on both ends and to meet up in the finals, they're going to have to be the best of the best. And currently, both the Lakers and the Bucks are not the best of the best in their conference. I am not a delusional. I'm not like, yeah, we won the in-season. We're going. No, we've got a lot of work to do. And starting, I believe, today against Dallas, we've got work to do. Starting today, we can't lose against 3. We've got to close the game out. We can't lose like last time. So for me,
yeah, because Kyrie's not even playing today, so like this is like good chance. Like,
yeah, we should be able to close that one out and get that game. And even if he was, I feel like because we have,
Dallas can't also defend.
I'm not taking anything back.
Dallas cannot defend too, so I'm not even bothered.
Facts. No, at the end of the day, we'll see. I would love to see a Lakers Bucks finals. I would love that. Obviously, we'll match up against them in the regular season, and I think by that point, I think when we match up against them, we're going to be at our best, and same for them probably. So they'll probably get it figured out. They are a team that will make the moves that they need to make to keep Giannis there, because that's their biggest thought is how can we keep Giannis happy and in Milwaukee. And a big piece of that was getting Dame, but now it's kind of choppy with that record, so they got to figure that out. But we will obviously cover more Bucks, and who knows, guys, maybe next time we talk Bucks, it's, whoa, the Bucks just won 10 games in a row. You never know. You never know on this show with the NBA and how it switches up. But now we are going to talk about something else. We are going to talk about an NBA tradition, which is Christmas Day games. I personally remember my favorite one was the 2018 one when Kyrie hit the game winner against the
Warriors. Yeah, that was a good one.
2017, I don't know. One of them.
Yeah,
it was amazing. That's my favorite memory. There's a lot of great memories, but we are going to go over the Christmas Day schedule and just give a couple of predictions on who we think will win those matchups. And then we're going to go over to, are there anything we'd like to see added to Christmas Day? Any format or any extra thing? There's been things talked about like a holiday tournament or 1v1s. We'll talk about if there's anything we'd like to see added in place of these games or just extra. Starting with the games that we have this year, we have the Bucks versus the Knicks. I guess we're still talking about the Bucks. I'm not just saying this to keep our Bucks fans happy. I do have the Bucks winning this one.
Yeah, easily.
This is an easy game. This is an easy W for the Bucks. I would expect a 15-plus point win. I'm gonna be honest. I would call it a 15-plus point win pretty comfortably. So Bucks versus Knicks, kind of a yawn fest, bro. Why do the Knicks have a Christmas Day game at this point? I don't know if they should be a team that should have a Christmas Day game. Let's take them out. Pistons versus Bucks, Christmas Day game. What do you think, bro? Anyways, next game, Warriors versus Nuggets. This is a little bit better. We're ramping up the excitement with this one. Warriors versus Nuggets. Me personally, not to make our Warriors fans mad, I got the Nuggets. The Warriors are not that team right now, and the Nuggets are that team. They're still staying pretty consistent. They're not that top team in the West, but they are one of those top teams, and they're playing pretty well. So I'm not gonna waste my time. And the Warriors are, Curry's playing fantastic. They've got some pretty good games that they've pieced together, but when we're talking Nuggets versus Warriors, I've got to give it to the Nuggets.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not even arguing with that. Like, Nuggets are like, the Warriors are just, they're just all over the place. Like, I'm sorry, like they're literally just scattered here and there. So yeah, Nuggets 100%. If the Warriors do win, I'll be the first one to say I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. Anything can happen, but like 100% Nuggets. Let's get on with it.
See, honestly, the problem with the Warriors is they just don't have anyone that's going to stop Jokic. They don't have the size. They just don't have it. So Warriors, not that team right now. Next is Lakers Celtics. I've got the Lakers winning in an OT thriller. I think in order for us to win a game, whether it be in overtime or in regulation time, Anthony Davis has to show up, and that sounds repetitive, but Anthony Davis has to show up on the defensive end. If Anthony Davis does not show up defensively and we don't set that pace defensively early on, that Celtics team, while they lack defense, that offense is the scariest offense in the East. And so, yeah, of course I do. Yeah, King Kyle, I got to take my boys always, but it's not like I'm delusional because the Lakers are playing the best ball that they've played, and I have them stringing together an impressive number of wins before Christmas. And so I think I got Lakers winning an OT thriller, but we're going to have to show up defensively, and that's going to have to start with Anthony Davis, and it's going to have to start right at tip-off. So give me the Lakers in OT, but that is probably the best. That's probably the most even matchup we've talked about so far, in my personal opinion. That's really the only Christmas Day matchup that I'm like, this is pretty even. And honestly, because the other ones are pretty lopsided so far. But give me the Lakers. What about you, bro? Can the Lakers pull it off?
Yeah, I mean, it's in Crypto.com Arena. I don't have a problem with that. Like, that's definitely that'll be a good one. Sorry, let me just be sure I'm actually having this right. Yeah, I think it's in Crypto.com Arena. Yeah, I'm not going to take Celtics over the Lakers. Like, I'm a Lakers fan. Like, all I do there, like even without delusion or me being delusional, I'll still pick the Lakers every day, any day. So I just think the Celtics also, I mean, they're first in the West. Anyone can turn up. I just don't think they can defensively contain the Lakers, and we'll leave it there.
Facts. Yep, we'll leave it there. Next matchup we have is 76ers versus Heat. I think this is going to be an exciting game. I think the 76ers are going to take the L on Christmas Day. I think I've got the Heat. I'm going to call it an upset because I think you would call that an upset. Give me the Heat with a Christmas Day upset. I hope my co-host Mark, one of the biggest Heat fans I know, is watching right now because I'm rooting for your boys, man. Give me the Heat Christmas Day upset. What about you, bro? I'm assuming you don't.
No. Like Embiid would just dominate the paint. Max would just shoot the lights out, and
Bam is out right now with an injury. So if Bam is, I think it's a day to day or not. But if he's like out, then but still give me the Heat because of Jimmy buckets. Let's go.
No, all you know playoff Jimmy. I don't know regular season Jimmy.
You've never seen Christmas Day Jimmy's about to arrive.
Day Jimmy. I don't know who Christmas Day Jimmy is too.
50 piece.
I don't know who I don't know who that is, but I know who Embiid is. I know who Tyrese Maxey is. I know who who the other young Bucks are. So
Fair.
I'll 100% take the Sixers over the Miami. And look, the Miami team is absolutely flying this season. So, but I just trust the Sixers more. Like, that's just it.
Fair enough. I got you. Well, we'll see. We'll have to recircle back on that and see which prediction's right. And then our last one, I think this is one of the best ones. Suns versus Mavs. I really hope that full Suns team is out there because MVP Luka is going to just put up a masterclass performance. Give me the Mavs beating the Suns on Christmas Day. Luka's going to have an insane performance. I don't want to make a prediction, but I'm guessing something like 40 plus points, 40 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and a couple of steals, maybe throw a block in there. He's going to have a great performance. Give me the Mavs behind Luka's big performance. What about you?
They both can't defend. They can't defend to literally save their lives. But I just trust KD more. Like, if KD, Booker, and Bill actually play that game, like, I don't see who is beating. Excuse me. I don't see the Mavs who can't defend actually win that game. I'm sorry. Like, so I just trust the Suns more. And I trust Coach Frank Vogel more than Jason Kidd. But don't get me wrong, the Mavs are playing amazing basketball. So I'm just going to put it out there just because I trust KD more than Luka and say Suns, and let's leave it at that.
No, that's fair. That's definitely a fair take. Either way, Christmas Day games will be fun. They're always
Really
great.
good.
I hope that the Lakers pull it off, but maybe we're talking. I don't know. We'll see. The Lakers have had some rough Christmas Day games, and they've actually had some where I've wondered why they even have had Christmas Day games at all. But hopefully that's not the case this year. But we will obviously circle back when it's time to talk about those matchups. But the last thing we're going to talk about with Christmas before we move on is there's been some talk before about doing a holiday tournament or doing some special 1v1 where select players are invited out to just do some game, some fun, whatever for charity. And my question to you is would you like to see some extra thing on Christmas. My answer is that I actually would kind of like to see the in-season. I don't know. I'd like to see something with the in-season tournament with Christmas, whether it ends on Christmas or something special with there. But I wouldn't mind seeing like a holiday tournament or some fun, even if it's not like a regular games. Maybe it's just some fun addition. I would love to see the NBA. They're adding these things. They added the tournament. I would love to see them add some holiday tournament or some special extra thing for Christmas, no matter what that is. What are your thoughts? Obviously, they might have to change up the format they have now, but would you like to see an addition, or do you think it's good how it is?
Yeah, I know. I think it will be too much sports on Christmas because I think the day before um we have NFL, and
Mhm.
then Christmas Day we have basketball, and I think the next day we still have basketball or something like that. And for me as a soccer person, I have literally NFL. So I've Premier League on the day before Christmas, then Boxing Day Premier League. So I just think it's be too much sports, not enough time for family. And you obviously want these players to enjoy their family and stuff. But when you think about like charity and stuff, I'll consider that idea more towards like the All Star game. It's having like one-on-one um matchups or two v two where you have two like random ass people from somewhere just come and be like, okay, I want this superstar, I want this superstar, and then they go to 2v2 against themselves during the All-Star break. I think that would be really lovely. And then the winner, obviously, the superstar buys the winner like dinner or something. So that would be really good. But I don't know, 1-on-1, 2v2, anything extra on Christmas Day. I just think it'd be too much basketball for one day. So
It'd be hard to get it to it would be hard to figure it out so that it would work for everybody, especially because they're not playing the holiday games in the same place already. So getting having something would be tricky. I know that they talked about adding something to All-Star Weekend, but at this point it's like you could honestly take the dunk contest out because it's been so disappointing and put something else in. And I don't think they should do that 100%. But if we're talking about like addition and subtraction, I would take that dunk
yeah.
contest. Sucks,
Oh,
bro. It has been awful. Even just from where they were at, 5-6 years ago, it has just gone way. It's terrible. So I like your idea adding that in the All-Star break. That's been the main place where that would make sense. So that would be a cool thing to see. Maybe we'll talk about that at some point. NFL 3 Christmas Day games. Yeah. NBA. Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of sports. And it's like you said, with the athletes not being able to be with their families, and it's definitely a lot. But either way, Christmas Day games are always fun, and we will circle back when it's time. Moving on, we just have two more things to go over. The first thing we're going to go over briefly is a little defensive player of the year talk, going over who we think is going to win it. And just, I mean, who we think is going to walk away with it. There's definitely a lot of players right now that are putting up really great defensive numbers, but obviously that can fluctuate and change. So where we are at right now, if the award was being given out today, who would you give the defensive player of the year award to and why?
I have three options in mind. And actually I think I'll scrape one of them off because I don't know, I just don't see it. But defensively, I'm going to go with Embiid. Embiid as number one, Anthony Davis as number two, and maybe I'm on the fence on this last two. I have either Brook Lopez or Giannis as number three. Those are the only three guys I can think of that have actually been good defensively. So yeah, those three guys: Embiid, AD, and Giannis or Brook Lopez.
Jay, put that last comment back up because that was great. That was smoke. That was great. Did you just use defense and NBA in the same sentence? Yes, we did. It's really hard to do that nowadays, but we did. We can kind of still do that with these guys because they still play a little bit of defense, but it's hard to use that in the same sentence nowadays. That might be the comment of the show. Good job, Smoke. As always, bringing the great comments. And as always, guys, in our comments, say whatever you want. Bring us any questions, any comments, whatever you got. We're always ready to react. and it's always a good time. This might get a reaction from people because they're saying, is this the Lakers show now? When did this become the Lakers show? Well, this is not the Lakers show, but I will say this. There's only one dude in my mind that I think is going to win it, and that is Anthony Davis, because he's averaging 2.7 blocks per game, 1 steal per game, and his defensive rebounding numbers when he shows up, because we know that that doesn't always happen, unfortunately, are extremely effective to the outcome of the game. So for me, Anthony Davis is my 1, but if I was going with a 2, it's a guy that you didn't name, and it's a guy that I don't want to name, but he's currently playing pretty good defense, and that's Rudy Gobert. 2.9 blocks per game. Personally, I do not see him winning another Defensive Player of the Year. My God, I hope he doesn't win another Defensive Player of the Year. I would be pissed off. I didn't even want to say it, but I have to. So it's not Rudy Gobert is playing extremely consistent defense for that Timberwolves team, and that's why they're currently sitting, last I checked, first in the West. A big part of that is their defense. So for me, he's up there, but I think Anthony Davis, if he stays healthy, I think he is going to bump his numbers up, and I think he'll be averaging upwards of 3 blocks per game. So I think that it's just a matter of him staying consistent and staying healthy, and I think that's going to happen. I mean, it's hard to say because Anthony Davis is Mr. Glass Man. He's Mr. A Disney, Mr. Injured. I mean, he's always getting injured, but this is the most consistent we have seen him in a couple of seasons. And so why would we discredit that and say he's going to go down? No, I think this could be his best season he's had as a Laker, potentially. I don't want to say that right now, knock on wood, because I say that now and he's going to go down against the Mavs, but I just think that he's arrived and he's really going to have his best defensive year. And I think it's going to end in a Defensive Player of the Year award. So give me Anthony Davis, but you named, I mean, Embiid's showing up for that Sixers team. Giannis is playing great. Yes, guys, Giannis is playing great, but the entirety of the Bucks is not playing great on defense. You can have 1 or 2 players that are playing decent on defense, but if you don't have the rest of the guys showing up, you're not going to shut those other positions. I mean, it's just how it goes. So for me, yes, Giannis is up there, but it's like that's kind of where it ends for the Bucks right now. But I think we could see any number of guys work their way into our list or work their way out. We will touch back in on this eventually, but it is time for our final segment of today's show, and that is our top of the hour 5. And I hope Smoke's watching. I hope we've got a couple of our specific fan bases watching, because this is a good one. This is our top 5 current NBA point guards. So, David, let's get right into it, bro. This list could make a couple of people mad, but that's okay. That's all right. Who is your number 5 for top 5 current point guards in the NBA?
Top 5 current point guards in the NBA. First off, honorable mentions. Just have to say honorable mentions. Tyrese Maxey, honorable mention. I think maybe you could give him 7th, top 5, top 7. If we are doing top 10, he's definitely, I think, number 7. You have LaMelo Ball before he got injured, was playing amazing basketball. Jalen Brunson, obviously. Kyrie, you can't just shut Kyrie off. Trae Young and Jamal Murray. Those are my honorable mentions. Just leave out there. But for number I haven't even picked. So I have 2 people at number 5 just because. And I'll allow you decide who I go for. Number 5, I have SGA / Haliburton. I think especially I'm going to start with Haliburton because Haliburton has just been playing out of his mind. He's averaging like 12.5 assists a game, like carrying the Pacers pretty much to where they are right now. Like they are top 6 in the East right now. And then SGA is just, doing SGA stuff up at OKC. Like it's becoming normal that we're not even talking about. Like it's not surprising us anymore. Like that's just how good he is. So, and people say he should probably be number 2, number 3, whatever. I just can't. Just the names I have up here, I just can't put him just because he hasn't done that much yet. But this season he's been phenomenal. And so are the remaining people on my list. So number 5, I'll give it tied to SGA and Tyrese Haliburton.
Nice. All right, let's go. Good number 5. My number 5 is one of your honorable mentions, and that is Tyrese Maxey, who is currently averaging 27 points a game, 4.1 rebounds a game, 6.7 assists per game. He's balling out. Now, what I will say is this: he's extremely young. He's not extremely established, but what he has done to step up for the 76ers since James Harden's depart. And I will say this, he's not been disrespectful about Harden. He's actually been extremely respectful and said that that relationship did help him a lot for where he's at now. So I actually think that James Harden being there last year may have helped him and may have boosted him. So I think that it wasn't a bad exit on that end. And I think that he's kind of picking up that slack and picking up what they need. And for me, this dude is playing just insane basketball. And he is that 2 in that 1-2 punch in Philly. It's currently Embiid and Maxey. Those are those dudes for that team. So for me, Tyrese Maxey has to be my number 5. Looking at number 4, who is your number 4?
De'Aaron Fox. Swipey Fox. He's just so good. I think he's averaging, let me just be sure I'm having it here, 30.4 points a game. 30.4 points a game, shooting 47.6%. That's pretty impressive. 37.9% from the field. That's crazy. From 3-point line. Averaging about 4.6 rebounds and 6.6 assists a game. That's pretty. Those are pretty good numbers. I see what he's doing for the Kings. He's pretty much where the Kings go. Where he goes is pretty much where the Kings go. So De'Aaron Fox is my number 4, and I think he has elevated his game to all-star level caliber. Like he has just improved so well to that point in time. So I have him as my number 4.
That's a great number 4. That's a great pick. My number 4 is another point guard that's pretty well known. He's a baller. He's a shooter, and he might make a couple of people mad that he's so low on my list, but I got to put him here because for me, this is where he's at right now, and that is Steph Curry, averaging 29.4 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. He's playing phenomenal. He is honestly, bro, he's the only reason the Warriors are even winning games, in my opinion. Even if there's other players that are stepping up, that's because of his leadership. I'm going to say, yes, he's my number 4 right now, but that dude is an all-time great. That dude is an all-time great. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I put him as number 4. That's just where I have him right now. But he is the reason the Warriors are even still relevant. Not Klay Thompson, not Draymond Green, Steph Curry. So I've got to give it to Curry. He's my number 4. And this is an elite list. Even though he's right here on this list, to be at number 4 and to be playing how he is for the Warriors still is extremely impressive. So give me Steph Curry, number 4. Moving on to number 3. Who do you got at number 3, bro?
Damian Lillard. 25 points a game. It's just, and he hasn't even reached where we expect him to, like his peak yet in a box uniform. I just think he's that good. So 25 points, 25. I'm just putting up his stats right now. 25 points a game. 35% from 3-point line, 41% from the field, averaging about 4.6 rebounds a game and 7 assists a game, and 1 steal a game too. I think, and this isn't even his ceiling yet. So I just think there's still more to go for him, but he has been playing lights out for me. So yeah, Damian Lillard, and that's all I'll say from there.
Yeah, no, that's a great pick. Absolutely. Coming at my number 3 is a guy that you had on your list, but a little bit lower, and that is Tyrese Halliburton. Here's the deal. I didn't expect to have him on my top 5 this season either, but that dude is playing insane. 26.3 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game. Okay, that's fine. 12.3 assists per game. He is that offense. He is the Pacers offense. The reason that I have him up on my list right here is because not only are his stats impressive, but the flow of that offense is through him. Halliburton is running that Pacers team, and that is the reason they're winning games. So he's my number 3, and that Pacers team is on a roll. Don't be surprised if you see them making at least the second round of the playoffs, because I think they look like that team. So he's my number 3 because how he's playing and how he's hooping. Hopefully he can stay healthy and keep that team rolling like he has. We're getting into the top 2, though. This is the best of the best. Who do you got at number 2, bro?
Number 2. Before I go into that, since I'm seeing some comments about like me trashing the Bucks but praising their players. Yeah, I mean the players are putting up like impressive numbers. Like I can't just, as a team, they are not playing good defense, but you have individual players putting. I think Brook Lopez is like the top in terms of blocks. Giannis is up there in rebounds and things like that. Like their players are putting up good numbers. Dame is putting up good numbers. They are all individually they are putting up good numbers, but as a team, they can't just. They are not just there yet. So I'll just put that out there. You guys do whatever you want to do with it. But for number 2, I have the one and only Luka Doncic, and that's it. I'm never going to say too much. We all know what he does. He's literally a freak of, what do I even say? Freak of nature. Just walking on, posting shots anywhere, can pass the ball, trick shots, pretty much can do it all. I don't know how to say he starts. You guys already know what he does. So yeah.
Yeah, he's insane. He's definitely one of the best. He's definitely in my top 2. But before I say Luka's name, I've got to say my number 2's name, and that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That dude, I mean, the impact he's had in OKC is, in my personal opinion, more than Westbrook had early in his career, more than KD. They had it because they had that team together, and they built that team up with those players and with those pieces. And it looks really familiar with this team. And this honestly could be the team that actually wins the chip. That OKC team could not do it. This OKC team, I think, might be able to get it done. Not this season. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, I mean, this, and Shai is a huge reason. 30.2 points per game, 5.5 rebounds a game, and 6.2 assists per game. And he's also active on the defensive end and plays a really good role. So for me, that's my number 2. But going into number 1, who do you got sitting at that top spot in the NBA currently?
Number 1, Steph Curry. And I don't know it to sound weird just because they're like 10 and 12 this season. So people are like, why would I say his name? But that's the reason why I say his name, because of the 10 and 12 records. Because without him, I'm 100% sure the Warriors wouldn't have won those amount of games. Because he's the reason they have the points, like dropping 30, 25 a night. Like, and the worst, I don't even know if that's the proper way to say it. The bad part of it is he isn't even shooting the 3-ball well. So when he gets into the groove and he starts shooting the 3-ball well, how would that team look? Like, he literally be dropping 40 a night once he starts shooting that 3-ball well. I just think he has been off with 3-ball, but because of how his influence has been on a not so good looking Warriors team, I think that is why I have him as my number 1, because he's the only reason they are still in that hunt for top 6. 10 and 12, not bad. We're just 22 games into the season, so there's still a lot of basketball to play. But yeah, that's my number 1. What's yours?
I mean, that's a great number 1. And obviously I had him lower on my list, but we had the same reasons for him being on our list, because he's the reason the Warriors are relevant. They're winning games. And so shout out to Curry because he's playing great ball. My number 1 was your number 2, and I got to give it to Luka. MVP. I'm saying it right now, bro. I said it last season. I'm going to say it every season I will be on the arc until it happens, but it is happening. I'm not going to have to say it anymore after this year, because this is his MVP year. So MVP, I don't have to go into it. He's the leading scorer right now for point guards, and he reminds me of Magic. He's a Magic style point guard in my mind. That is a Magic style of play for what he can do. He doesn't quite have, I don't think he has the height Magic had, because Magic was a tall point guard, but he has that skill set that Magic had, being able to get boards, being able to also impressively dish the ball around, and also being able to score. So for me, it's got to be Chip coming from Dallas. You know what?
No.
I don't think so, but I like that. I like that mindset. And as long as the Lakers aren't to match up against them in the playoffs, I'll root for the Mavs a little bit, to be honest with you. I'm not opposed to a little Mav love. But anyways, guys, that is the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. But before we close out, there is more there are more places you can find us. David, where else can our listeners and our viewers find you?
Yeah, as I'll keep saying, if you love football, sorry, soccer. If you love soccer, but actually football, if you love football, that's where you find me. Minor Fans Podcast. We talk all things Premier League football. Me and my co-host Spy, we analyze every game from the match week. So if you love it, love all the action, come check us out, and we promise we won't disappoint.
Check it out, guys. I've checked out their episodes. I've checked a few out, and it is an enjoyable time. If you are into soccer, I know, if you're into soccer, but really football, check it out. It's awesome. And then you can always find me, Purple and Gold Zone, on the Connor and Heffernan Show YouTube page. If you're a Lakers fan and you want to hear me talk about the Lakers for an entire show and not just a little bit, then tune over there. I know that Smoke's going to go over there, and King Cal. All of our viewers are just ready to go listen to me talk about the Lakers. Purple and Gold Zone, new episode coming out this week. And then the Connor and Heffernan Show will be next weekend. Me and my co-host Mark talk all things football, basketball, baseball. We talk a little bit of everything. So tune in next Friday or Saturday to the Connor, or this Friday and Saturday to the Connor and Heffernan Show. But that brings us to another end of a fantastic show. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. We will see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.